we go. I've wore these shoes for, I would say honestly, 3 years, and they still do me just fine. Gotta save money. Gotta save money, guys. All right, what is going on, guys? It is another day, another beautiful day in Arizona. I have a used car dealership in Mesa, Arizona. You can click the link in the description. You can see all of our inventory, all that stuff. But I just wanted to make a video because I have a lot of people asking me questions like, why would I even buy from a dealer? And I get it, and it makes sense. There's certain times when you should and certain times when you shouldn't. So I wanted to make a video on 3 tips of what you should do when buying from a dealer and basically like what you shouldn't do. Dealers can be very, very sketchy. That's coming from a dealer himself. Like, I'm a full-on car dealer. We've been open like 4 months, and I think we sold 103 cars so far. I want to document this so when I look back in 10 years, I'll be like, oh, I'm in 1 million cars now. But anyways, we're at the house. I live with YouTubers. They're cool cars. There's like a McLaren, it's like opposite. McLaren 720S and a Lambo. So anyways, we're going to the car lot. You guys can see, I don't even have my own vehicle. I literally just drive our car lot cars. And yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool. But I'm gonna go to the car lot and I'll see you guys in just a second. And I'm gonna give you guys 3 tips on how to stay safe when buying from a dealer and when it'd be a good time to do it. And this is from a dealer. I'm not trying to be sketchy or tell you advice that's gonna basically just help me. This is literally a benefit to you and me being straightforward and honest with you. Basically the exact opposite of what most people think about car dealers, and I am one. So I'm gonna get in the car. I'm gonna take you guys to the car lot. No check engine light, woo! Spark plug fouled in this thing. Check engine light came on. In Arizona, we are in a emission state. What that means is every light has to be off. Check engine light has to be off for it to pass emissions, and we can't sell the car till it passes emissions. I lived in Arkansas and every check engine light was on in a used car and no one complained. Here, if it's on, it's like the end of the world. They will not buy the car unless it's a mechanic and you disclose it before they even come to see it, because you can't drive it legally on the road. It makes sense. But at the same time, if you know anything about cars, you can still get a great car and it have like a bad O2 sensor or something like that that's not registering and setting the check engine light off. Doesn't mean the car's bad. Unfortunately for us, it doesn't matter what we think, it's about the customer. So we've been working on this car for like 2 days and it was just a fouled plug and then an evap leak. So the evap leak was kind of hard to track down, but the plug was pretty obvious once you plugged in the code scanner. But we always like to test drive them. So like every car we sell, for example, we test drive. I take this home. This is the second night I've taken it home because I just want to make sure that it's good for the customer. Whereas, I mean, I'm sure a lot of dealers that have like 50, they don't really get the chance to test drive them or they don't care to. But we have like 30 cars probably right now at the car lot. And we test drive every single one of them. And not just like 10 minutes, we take it home with us. I don't even have my own vehicle. Well, I guess I have a Ford Lightning collector truck, but I don't have it like a daily. All the car lot cars are my daily drivers, and that's a benefit for me. One, because I don't have to have a personal vehicle and I get to use basically our insurance and our dealer's license to my advantage. And then 2, it's peace of mind for the customer. But yeah, we're headed to the car lot now. I said that like 4 times. Here we go. All right, so this is Power Road. This road is getting super packed. This is actually where our car lot is. It's right over this hill. One of the most traveled roads in Arizona. So Arizona's on a grid. So every road is like this, like tic-tac-toe. I don't know if I like it, whatever, it's simpler. But this is one of the most like fastest growing, that's not a word, fastest growing streets, even though it doesn't look like it right now because it's Father's Day. That makes sense of why it's kind of dead. But here's our car lot. It's nothing crazy, but again, we're 24. I mean, it's a big deal for us. There is our sign and this is it. There's Rick, says the infamous Ghibli. Go check out my video. I got a ton of hate on that video. I was kind of being goofy. It's like 200,000 views. Yeah, here's the car lot. We have about, I can count them in a minute, but we got about, I don't know, 30 cars here total. The tin's off that. I need to get that set up. There they are. So there's the front row. I need to change that. That Tahoe doesn't need to be on there. We need something like that newer Kia. Christian Brothers is getting put up right next to us. That piece, I wish we would have bought. It sold for like $1 million, but the rent that we pay in this lot, that's rent, goes towards nothing, is like the same price if we took out like a, I don't know, a 25-year loan on that, or a term, or a 20-year. I don't know. It was like, I think it's even cheaper. But anyways, I'm not gonna say the exact details on how much we pay in rent, but again, it's not going towards the land like it would have right there. And it was the same owner. Go inside, I'm gonna go show you guys like the office and stuff. I got a new Mac on my desk, that's pretty cool. But I'm gonna give you 3 honest tips, but I know there are so many things that most of these dealers do, and we're not those guys. I'm telling you, we're not those guys to be, you know, shady and to try and get the most out of you like most dealers are. So I'll show you guys inside some things that I've learned and noticed being a dealer. Like, this is my lot. I mean, these are my vehicles, own the business 50-50. It's a big deal to be able to like hear stuff like this from an actual dealer and not someone that's just like, oh yeah, do this, and it's all benefit for the dealer, and they word it a certain way so that it's like still not, you know, hurting their rep. But I know a lot about cars. I know a lot about reliability in cars, so I think that these will be really useful for you guys. And come inside and I'll explain them. All right, so here's my desk. We have got to get new lighting. This is all the light, but it's just too directed, and it looks like bright, but it's super dull in here. We posted a lot of cars online all of a sudden, and we've got a ton of messages on OfferUp. So I'm gonna show you guys all the messages we got actually right now. Here is a screenshot let's see if I can get right there, of all the messages in the last 24 hours. A lot of messages, and those are only on a select few. You can see it's just like 3 or 4 cars, but you only need one person to buy, by the way, dealers. I'm not getting that many messages, only having this many on the lot because my prices are high. It's just too easy nowadays for the customer to just keep scrolling. Like, say you're looking for a Chevy Cruze, you go to CarGurus, there's 50 different dealers selling 50 different Chevy Cruzes. You either be the best deal, or they just swipe one more time on their cell phone, or they scroll one more time on their computer, and boom, you're out of the picture because your car was $700 higher. Being the best deal is important on social media, and the crazy part is, since all these dealers are still like old on average, the method that they're using worked back then, but they're not capitalizing on the internet. So on average, and they're thinking, oh, price them still high. Oh, someone will want a red one. Yes, that same $10,000 that was in that car, I could have sold 5 vehicles, meaning the profit would have still been more per dollar than if you had a $10,000 car, you priced it high trying to get the most, and then it sits for 2 months. Well, in 2 months, I already used that $10,000 5 times, and I still beat you. And I built a relationship, and I didn't screw someone over, and I gave them a good deal. And now 5 families know me, whereas only 1 know you, and they know you for getting the most out of them. So that's just a tip for dealers, and I really probably shouldn't even be saying that, but it's just me being completely truthful. Turnover rate's important, and being good it's about the customer. It has if you're trying to get the most out of your cars, you're gonna fail just as quick as you started. It doesn't work. Not anymore. It did, and I get why it did, because it was brick and mortar, and there were 2 dealerships in your town, and you went to this one, they both had Chevy Cruzes, so now it's between 2, and there was no competition because in order to get to the 3rd one, it was 50 miles away. So now you can price them high. Well, now on the internet, shoot, they'll deliver it half the time, and there's 50 options. So if you're not the best, it's too easy to just go, boop, next dealer. So now, after that little rant, I'll show you guys the 3 most important things to do or to understand when buying from a dealer. Know these 3 things. I'm telling you, know when to buy private party, know when to buy from a used car dealer, and know when not to, depending on the situation you're in, or maybe the position in your life even. But tip number 1, when the dealer tries to sell you on a newer year model and a lower mileage car, even though if you don't know about cars, you're probably thinking lower mileage is always better. The newer, the better. I want a new car, I want low mileage. Tip number 1, the dealer will agree with you. If you come to me and say that, I will disagree and then be completely honest. Some of the biggest issues and problems that we've had with some of these cars are something like the 2016 Ford Fusions with the EcoBoost motors, Ford Escapes, Chevy Impalas. You can get a really new Chevy Impala, and what happens is the dealer's gonna try and sell you on, oh, it's the same price as, you know, the Camry that you got, but it's
5 years newer. Do not listen to that. So that is one tip from a dealer. I'm telling you from experience, when I was in Arkansas, I would test drive at the auctions in Arkansas. You could drive the cars. So I would see the same make and models over and over. And I'm telling you, 180,000 mile on average, 180,000 mile Toyota Corolla, Toyota Camry, Honda Civic, Honda Accord. 9 times out of 10, one of those with 180K are still better than the 17 model Ford Fusion with 65K. They still have a better chance. Say you're doing a road trip that's like 19 hours, you go across the entire country. I would prefer a Civic or a Corolla or a Camry on average. I'm like, do not fall for the trap, please. Just don't fall for the trap that the newer and the lower the mileage, the better off you are. The dealers will agree, because what the dealers do is they get this crazy cheap price and they just match the car that you found, and then so now their margin's bigger. They're trying to get the most out of you. The margin's bigger, and then what happens is they go, yeah, it's a newer, it's much better, it's just a better car. You're gonna get lower mileage. And what you don't know is or what the consumer oftentimes doesn't know is the reason these old Toyotas and Hondas seem high prices, there's a reason for it. They're holding value. It's good. It's actually an investment if done right, because they last so long. They're known for the reliability. Whereas these newer cars, these Ford Fusions, these Chevy Impalas, I don't want to just bash Ford. I have a Ford Lightning. They're not known to be reliable on average. They're cheaping out. They're putting turbos on them to make more power, because the turbos are cheaper than just making the whole engine stronger and bigger. So they're going smaller cylinders, so smaller engine, and then just forcing air, which ruins the motors and will leave you on the side of the road. But you went in going, hey, I need the newest model and I want the lowest mileage. So don't fall for that trap. If you look at our car lot, our inventory, you can click the link down below. We've had to adapt to some of that because we just can't get Toyotas and Hondas constant, because they're people you can tell this to and they still won't budge. So basically what we do is we get a cheap price and then we still list it for a cheap price, as opposed to a dealer strategy of get it for a cheap price. They come in for that Toyota Tacoma and they sell them on the Ford F-150 that's newer, and they sell the year and they sell the mileage. But in reality, the Tacoma's way better of a vehicle, even at double the mileage. So that's the dealer strategy. What we do is, the stuff you'll see on our website if you click down below, is we buy it cheap, list it cheap. Tip number 1, it doesn't always mean it's reliable if it's new and it's low mileage. Don't always fall for that. Do your research before. The dealer will try and sell you on that. If you come to us, we won't. We'll be straightforward. But again, like I was saying earlier, we road test our cars. Most dealers, if you have 50 cars in your lot, you don't have enough time, and I don't even blame them. But we spend 2 or 3 days. I don't even have a main vehicle. I take it home, I drive it back, I say, hey, it acted up, let's fix it, or it was great, let's sell it. And that's peace of mind for the customer, especially for those cars, those newer ones that the customer doesn't resist. I mean, I could tell them, they'll be like, no, I want a new Chevy Impala, I want it under 100K miles. Okay, ma'am, I understand. But at least we've road tested them for 2 or 3 days, taking them home. It's a big benefit for the customer. Number 2, if you go to finance a car, don't start off with the dealer lenders. And I can say this confidently because cash is king. So when you go to the outside lenders, one, say you have a bank, you go to Chase Bank, you're gonna get better rates. We're gonna get a cashier's check. So it's a cash deal for us. That's why I can say this confidently. And we tell all our customers, our lenders here are not necessarily the last resort, but if the bank won't approve you, they're high risk lenders. What a lot of dealers won't tell you is, hey, come inside, we'll get you financed all in-house, all one easy step. But if you didn't try your Chase Bank, how do you know you got the best interest rate? How do you know they're not inflating the price extremely high? When you go to a bank, I can sell you the cash price. When I go to a finance lender, they're gonna want me to mark it up because all of our listings online are cash prices, cash offers. So if it's $49.99 and you go to the lender and you wanna use one of ours in here, we can do it. If you weren't able to get approved at a bank, I'm more than happy to do it if you need a car really bad. But what happens is the lender says, if I'm lending out $5,000 for my time, I want to get more out of the vehicle. So what they do is they say, okay, it's $49.99. I want to sell that to the customer for $65. Whereas if you go to the bank or a credit union and you have decent credit, it's always best to try that first, because that $49.99 still applies, and you have a better chance of getting approved because it's a cash price. It's a really good deal. The bank's going to see that, like say Chase Bank or some credit union, and they'll be like, oh yeah, that's a good deal. I'll approve that easy. Then they give you a cashier's check, and for us, it's easy. You just come in, you give me a check, and you make payments to that outside bank, and we didn't even have to go through our lenders where they're going to want, you know, more money for it. And there's trade-offs for both. We've done both. Clearly, as a business, I prefer cash, so I can say this confidently because you would be bringing me a cashier's check, and the benefit for you is you still get it for $49.95. Probably have a little better interest rate, and you don't have to, you know, pay $6,500. And you can, you know, you're still going to make payments, but it's a better rate, better price. Everybody wins. So don't always fall for, oh, we'll get you approved in-house, because a lot of them will send you through high-risk lenders. And we have them. We have an awesome relationship with a lender. He comes by all the time. Super cool guy. And it's for the customers that have the bad credit. But what we always ask them is, like, try to get approved somewhere outside first. And then we're more than happy to use, you know, our lender that's awesome if they didn't approve you. And he'll do it every time. That's why he's so cool. But on the opposite side, if you didn't try to get approved outside first, you might be, you know, getting a little higher price, and they might be like ripping you off. That's why we're literally just like, our prices are so cheap. But anyways, try outside parties first, and then come to the lot with a cashier's check or a pre-approval check. Just a general, like, okay, I'm approved for this much, what can I get? That works too. That's tip number 2. Tip number 3, know when to buy from a dealer, know when to buy private party. The first thing I would recommend is know your state's laws. Some states don't have sales tax on certain price cars. Some states have sales tax on any of the vehicles. Some states are required to give you a warranty. For example, if you bought a car in Arizona, one benefit from getting a car from a dealer, like for example, if you have to have that Chevy Impala because of the year, model, and the mileage, understand that that's known to be not as reliable. So if you buy from a private party, it's as is. Once you leave, it's your car. If it blows up, it's yours. Arizona has like a lemon law. So it's 15 days after our customers buy a car, they can basically bring it back, and we're required to fix it as long as it's within 15 days or 500 miles if it's a safety issue. So we won't do like, oh, the windshield wiper broke or flew off. But like if the engine blows up, if the transmission blows up, anything that can leave you stranded, within 15 days, you do get that benefit. But just understand, you have to weigh your options. Are you looking for a more risky card because, you know, you're looking for something that's, I mean, you can simply Google it to see the reliability on that car. If so, I recommend understanding your state's laws again, and then if they have that mandatory warranty, go into a used car dealership. Or if it's a super risky car and you just love the looks of it, buy a warranty from the dealer. Make sure it's full coverage and make sure they're not trying to completely rip you off. A lot of new car dealerships do. But again, these are just little tips that can help you. So understand when to buy from a used car dealership, and then understand when to buy private party. Understand your state's laws. I mean, that is so important. Every state's different. For example, in Arkansas, used car dealerships don't charge sales tax under $4,000. So what dealers would do is they would basically funnel all their attention to $4,000 and under cars at the auctions because they could get around the sales tax. So the customer that's going to buy a private party now has a reason to buy from a dealer, and there's no reason to buy a private party, because if there's no sales tax, then what's the benefit of buying private party if you can buy from a dealer that's inspected it, shows you the inspection list, and has a full mechanic shop? But, you know, in some states, there is sales tax regardless. So you have to weigh those options. Are you getting a Toyota Corolla that's private party and you think it's a really good deal? Just understand there's no warranty, but also understand that is a reliable car. So maybe you don't need it, maybe you do. But again, just understanding your state's laws before you go in there, so you know what to expect and how to kind of leverage the situation. And this is all advice from a dealer. So those are my 3 tips. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm literally using my cell phone to record this. It's not that bad. But hope you like this video. You can check out our website online. We're actually working on it right now. We just got set up with DocuSign and Hennessy Performance. We're gonna be able to sell Hennessy packages and Hennessy vehicles off of our website. I think they're making like the fastest production car in the world. And it's gonna be posted on our website. Have a screen, pre-order, boom, call us. We'll get you set up. We'll link you 2 together. And that's how it goes. So we're gonna have all that stuff, and then you can e-sign. So you don't even have to be in Arizona to buy something from us, a product. But yeah, check it out. It's linked down in the description. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions that you guys have for me. I hope you learned something from this video. This is tips when buying from a dealership from a dealer. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. Again, we've been in business 5 months. We've sold 103 cars. We have a customer coming right now, maybe be 104. But I'm working 7 days a week while the other businesses around are working 5. The harder you work, the luckier you get. Something like that, guys. All right, I will see you guys in the next video. Hope you enjoyed it.